Hold up a minute. Bob here again to discuss fiberglass roof decks. I know you're here to view specific specifications on pergolas and rail post flashings, and I want to get to that in just a few minutes, but I want to go over a couple things. We are actually repairing and restoring fiberglass roof decks where 2, 3, or even 4 attempts have been made prior to our arrival. There is a vicious cycle going on, and it needs to stop. This industry is plagued with problems, and I am well acquainted with the symptoms and the causes in my near 40 years of experience chasing leaks. I want to describe some of the overall causes of problems that are repeatedly showing up in the field, and hopefully I can help you stop this cycle and permanently fix and install a lasting fiberglass roof that will not leak. The industry is run on the energies of the single trade subcontractors that will deliver one product fast and at a low cost for the profit-faced builder or remodeler. And these builders or remodelers aren't the only ones that use subs. The actual repair contractor uses them also. So you're in a vicious cycle when you go to market to look for somebody to fix a problem. These single trade operators are usually proficient in their trade, and if they possess a wider range of expertise, it is not their place to give advice to the one that engages them, the general contractor or the remodeler or even the homeowner who is paying them for the services. They just don't know usually what they're dealing with or what has caused the damage. With building codes that are antiquated and vague regarding these decks, the only direction given in the code books are those directing the builders and inspectors on the original boondoggle is to refer to the manufacturer specifications for directives in the absence of detailed information in the code, which is vague in the first place. There are holes all over the building codes, and even with the effort put forth to provide these specifics, they can't be relied upon to direct anybody. So referring to manufacturer specifications can be a real dangerous situation, as power is given over to the major manufacturers to specify products and methods to be used in the field. With little oversight, products are being installed in the field that should either not be allowed to be installed or not be allowed to be installed in the way that they're being done, and being done routinely by relative novices. Building inspectors and builders do not have the experience to know how the exterior cladding should be installed and integrated for trouble-free performance. What is really absurd is that the fiberglass installer is the manufacturer. He takes the raw materials and constructs the roof deck. Now, I'm coming up on 40 years of chasing these problems in the field and rectifying them. I just want to warn the public because I see consumers repeating the same cycle of engaging novices that possess single trade proficiency to repair their problems that resulted from the issues that are outside of the expertise or wheelhouses of the single trade applicator. A fiberglass installer will specify repairs or replacement to a damaged deck, but often will not address the causes of the damage, which usually comes from another area pertaining to another trade. Consumers will often go with the installer who seems to provide the most value for the money. I implore you to take the time to look over the written specifications carefully and educate yourselves on the work that needs to be done before making any decision to go with any contractor. Please read between the lines, and what is missing will usually speak volumes. Let's stop this insane cycle. So let's get back to the matter at hand here. We're talking about posts, mounts for railings, pergolas, and such. As you'll see in that photo right there, our surface mounted posts are raised on a 3/4 inch platform that keeps the mounting out of pooling water or water that builds up on the roof before drainage. Very important. There's just a job there that very intricate with posts for railings and pergolas right there as an example to the type of work that we do. Now, as we move along here, I'll explain a little bit about the process. Here's a job where posts were mounted penetrating the deck, a deck penetration to enable fastening of the post to the framing members. At least a 2-ply at the stress points of fiberglass buildup is installed with a counter flashing, as you saw in that photo. Here we're talking about mounting to the framing, which really isn't that much stronger than a surface mount because it's only 6 to 8 inches. Here's a failed attempt at flashing up a little bit, building a little cant strip to lower the stress at the 90-degree angle, and terminating 3/4 of an inch up. It results in failure and rot and problems. Here's some photos of rail mounts, post mountings that are just smoothed and caulked, and the same type of thing goes on with the post sleeve. Very dangerous situation to use a 4-inch post sleeve on a 4x4, which gives no room for a buildup at that very critical stress point. The stress points require at least 2 plies of 2 ounce, sometimes 3 plies, to give enough strength at a stress point where you have a roof that has load, a different temperature, a wall that doesn't have a load, but the wall is a different temperature. There's a stress point there. The posts on these are 3.5 inches thick. Okay, there's a sleeve going down over them after the flashing application. You've got a double ply here shown in this video that adds strength at the stress point. A stress point is a constant in all low slope roofing applications. You've got to have multiple plies at the stress points. The way these are installed in the field with these vinyl caps that only give you an 1/8 inch ply side to side over a post leaves no room for multiple plies. Now, coming up is a picture, one that we rectified. We had to chisel away. Look at the silly way the post was made. They made a post out of 2 2x4s and a piece of OSB in between as a spacer. It is ridiculous. We had to chisel away at the bottom to make enough room so that we could sand and fill and deliver the appropriate multiple plies at the stress point. So, and also to make that recess so that vinyl sleeve would come down over as the functional counter flashing. This is a real problem in the industry, and it's happening all over the place. They do offer 5-inch post sleeves that'll give you play, but nobody wants to spend the money or search them out. Now, here's the bases that we install when we do a surface mount installation. They provide extra strength, a laminated plate with polyurethane cement, laminated and fiberglass laid up, and then a Simpson tie, lag bolted in, set into polyurethane, and also screwed into place, and that Simpson tie gives you remarkable support. The railings, post mounts for pergolas are installed on a base that is elevated off the roof to prevent the pooling of the water or the buildup from entering the structure. Now, I know this image here is of a post that supports the deck framing, and that's improper deck framing, a 2x6, but you can see that the fastening of the post to the deck framing only affords us 6 to 8 inches maybe of support. And it is important to mention that there is what I refer to as a wiggle factor. A wiggle factor somewhere. Stress is put on the framing in this instance, which actually is an example of a potential to weaken the structure. When this occurs, from a roofing standpoint, that stress is put right at the deck flashing stress point position, and it cracks. And this is not something that you want to see happen. A far superior way to attach the railing is a surface mount. I know architects, engineers, and builders will argue with me, and that's fine. When we run into a penetration of a post, we make sure that that framing is properly bridged to transfer this stress to the adjoining framing members. And then we will build up with our multiple plies and our counter flashing, which can be a post sleeve, which can be a riglet cut with a metal flashing, or counter flashing. But there will be adequate plies to represent strength at the stress point in the absence of a surface mount type situation where we have a penetration. We make sure that we're not going to have trouble down the road. Now I want to add that the surface mounts that we use represent a smaller penetration in that of a lag bolt and a few deck screws that are up higher than the plane of the roof, keeping the wash, the runoff wash, away from the penetration. And also they're sealed, of course, but the stress point that from the wiggle factor, I call it, is way up high and away from the roof. Far superior, will last longer. That is the way you do it. That is the way you install a railing pergola mount. Thank you for watching, folks. Have a great day.